Howdy, folks. Witch Walls from needcoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer review. Here's how it works for the uninitiated. I have just left the cinema. It's behind you over there. And I've seen a film, and I'm going to talk about that film on my way home because it just saves time for everybody involved. Today, we're here to talk about the final chapter in the Cornetto trilogy, The World's End. Okay, so, synopsis. Basically, Gary King and his four friends, the Five Musketeers as it were, lived in a place called Newton Haven, and at the end of their school career had decided to try for something called the Golden Mile, which was basically doing a pub crawl across 12 pubs and drinking a pint in each pub. Well, due to circumstances pretty much within their control, they didn't make it and had to abort their mission. Now, time has marched on, and everyone has moved on except for Gary. And Gary has decided that really what his life needs is to go back and finish the pub crawl that they started, and he wants to bring all of his friends along for good measure. Trouble is, once they get back to their hometown, I mean, you know how it is, you go back to your hometown, nothing's quite how you left it, but things are infinitely stranger than when they left, and it's not going to be as easy to get themselves as plastered as they thought it was going to be, and hijinks thus ensue. Pretty much it. There's more in the trailer, but we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so, yes, this is the final film in the Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost Cornetto trilogy. You had Shaun of the Dead, which between it and 28 Days Later pretty much helped to revitalize the zombie subgenre as we know it. Shaun of the Dead being the perfect answer to the question of what if George Romero decided to write a very British film about zombies and make it a comedy. Then you had Hot Fuzz, which was sort of like Michael Bay's Midsomer Murders, which was sort of like what if you had Michael Bay do a Midsomer Murders episode and it was a comedy. So you've done horror, you've done action, and now we're here with science fiction. Now, I will say, it's pretty much revealed in the trailer that there's some sort of, I don't know if they come out and say what it is, but basically, well, I think they do say robots. But anyway, you have some sort of malevolent force going on in their hometown. That is, I mean, if you didn't pick up on the Body Snatchers vibe from the trailer, then, you know, wake up. You probably were on your 12th pint. So, I mean, here we are in the science fiction genre. So they're trying to hit three genres with three different films. And I've decided that this film is pretty much what if John Wyndham, the guy who brought you Day of the Triffids and the Midwich Cuckoos, which turned into Village of the Damned, what if he decided to write a comedy? That's really what it feels like. And there has to be some of that in there because it just has to be. So, yes, initially, having seen the trailer and having had it revealed basically what's going on, my initial thought was, apart from how much I love these guys and how much their films have made me happy, I was a bit afraid going into it that, well, you had zombies in pubs with Chapter 1, and now here in Chapter 3, we've got, you know, some kind of alien thing going on and pubs. And I worry, well, what's the, you know, what's the difference? Well, the good news is there's enough difference, A, and 2, you're having way too much fun to care. Because it's, it has a lot of the same themes of, say, Shaun of the Dead. I think Hot Fuzz is the odd man out in between the three films. Not terribly, but I mean, Shaun and this are very close. But they're different enough to where you're not going to feel like you're, I don't know, like in a bit when you go see Riddick and you're going to be like, wasn't this called Pitch Black? It's not like that, okay? They haven't remade the film. Partly because you have a great supporting cast in that, you know, you have Martin Freeman, and you have Rosamund Pike, and the rest of the gang are there, including Michael Smiley, who I swear to God winds up wearing the same suit that he was wearing in Luther. See if you notice this as well. So yeah, you have enough of a different cast going on, enough of a different vibe going on, enough different things going on, and a different kind of insanity. Because if you recall, okay, you know what? This is a theme throughout the three films. If you recall the insanity of the sequences fighting the zombies and Sean, and then fighting all the townspeople in Hot Fuzz, and it's just that sort of mental action sequences. More so with this because they get to play around with CG and other such things. So yeah, it's pretty it's pretty hyperkinetic. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Nick Frost may be, and quite possibly, the best fight scene that you will see this year. It's not like there's other people not in the scene who don't jump in, but that for some reason just sort of transcended and made me quite pleased. So yeah, I mean, the whole thing is you've got you don't quite. The thing I loved about Shaun of the Dead was that you had horror and comedy so completely meshed that basically they would flip between the two, and you wouldn't even realize that you were laughing one second and horrified the next, because it was happening so quickly. So you don't have quite that sort of seamlessness. It's more like Hot Fuzz, where you have actual moments with a capital M, and then you have butt kicking and ink flying everywhere. So it's more along the terms feeling-wise as Hot Fuzz, but it shares a lot of the same plot themes and so forth as Shaun. So really, it is the third chapter in a trilogy, and the main thing is that I didn't have to know John Wyndham or anything else going into it. I just enjoyed myself, but at the end, I sort of realized, okay, I see what you were trying to do. You have achieved what you were trying to do, and I'm happy that you achieved what you were trying to do because I was entertained quite a bit. And I won't say that I was entertained more than I thought I was going to be, because I anticipated, having enjoyed their other films so much, that I would really dig the hell out of this one. And I did. So, I don't know, I'm just very, it's to me, Shaun will still have a warm spot in my heart as being the best of the trilogy, simply because it came first, and I love zombies, and it was so completely tight. But as far as being entertaining, and not being stale, and being able to make, being able to be funny, and yet make a point about things, and do all of that without turning you off from the film, I thought it was very well executed, and I was entertained, It's not Merchant Ivory, but then again, what is? I mean, apart from Merchant Ivory. So here's the deal. Cup-wise, I think I'm gonna go with 4.5 out of 5. It was a solid 4, but then when I saw what they were sort of up to and saw the blueprint for the whole thing, I went, it's just far too clever. You get a half cup for that. So 4.5 out of 5. Should you see it? Oh, absolutely. You should see it on the big screen. If you're a genre fan at all, then you need to see it. And if you've enjoyed either of their other films, then you need to see it. I would say if you haven't seen the first two films, you probably should watch them. You can still watch World's End and not feel like you're not in on all the jokes, but there are a few in there that tie it into the rest of the trilogy it's fun to pick up on. So yeah, I would say definitely make sure that you see it. Matinee's fine if you need to save a few bucks, but do see it. Please do. There you go. That's it. I'm very happy, and I love those guys. So yes, that's it for another Wayhomer review. Thanks so much for watching. We're coming up on Dragon Con this coming weekend, so we're going to be a bit crazy. There's not going to be a Wayhomer coming up next weekend because we're going to be up to our eyeballs in the largest fan convention on the planet. So yes, if you are coming out to Dragon Con, please come and see us. We'll have our schedule posted on needcoffee.com. Once I have the URL, you'll see it on the site. And you can come out and meet us and say hi. We'd love to meet you. So, yes, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, we'll see you on the Wayhomer Reviews. Bye. Yeah, we thought about going to a pub afterwards, but, you know, we chose something else.
What can I get you today?
Yes, I'd like to get a tall coffee